Hi everybody, Neil with 21st Century Equipment. Today we're going to walk around this John Deere 3025E. It is part of what we call the 3E family. It's available in 25 horsepower, 32 horsepower, and 38 horsepower. The 38 horsepower model is turbocharged, but we're looking specifically at the 3025E. The E lets us know that it's one of our more economy-minded models. If you compare it to the R models, you'll notice a few things are different. One of them is this 300E loader. This loader is removable, but it's not one of our quick park loaders. The frames actually bolt down here onto the chassis of the machine, and so it's really intended to stay on the machine. Again, it can be removed, but it's a lot more complicated process, and I'm certainly not going to tell you that you can do it in under a minute like you can with our quick park loaders. This John Deere 300E loader is able to pick up 1,186 pounds measured down there at the pivot. So good lift capacity, good strong unit. Still not a unit we recommend for moving large square bales or large round bales, but quite a bit more than you or I can lift up, I promise. The 3025E does come with a step just to make it easier to climb in and out of the machine. One thing that you'll notice that's different compared to, say, the 2R family is we have a single brake. So that pedal activates the differential lock on the rear end, and then as I go further, it activates the brakes. So in order to activate the differential lock, I push partially down on the pedal and then go all the way to actual braking. So again, that differential lock is great if I'm in soft conditions or snow, common here in Colorado, Nebraska, and Wyoming, and one of the tires starts to spin on an ice patch. Partially depress that pedal, locks that differential together. Both of those rear tires start to spin together and move the tractor forward. In addition, since we're talking about spinning and snow and even mud conditions, this unit is four-wheel drive, and that switch is, or that lever is located right here. Push down on it to have it in two-wheel drive mode, lift it up to have it in four-wheel drive mode. Like all of the four-wheel drive tractors that John Deere has available, the four-wheel drive is recommended for loose conditions, low traction situations. If you're operating on a lot of concrete and asphalt, except for in the winter, you're going to want to leave this tractor in two-wheel drive most of the time. But as soon as that ice and snow flies, make sure you engage the four-wheel drive for the best traction. It does have a console-mounted toolbox located right here, a simple molded seat. Coming around to the back, easy access to the fuel fill located on the back, and the fuel gauge is a mechanical style fuel gauge located right next to the fill cap. I mentioned the step, so as I go ahead and climb onto this machine, of course, I'm going to grab my handle here on the fender, steering wheel, foot up on the step, and in we go. Spin around. As I'm going to be starting the machine here in a little bit, I'll go ahead and put my seat belt on. Controls are a little simpler on this unit. There is no mid PTO. So no drive on deck available for our E models. We do have an optional backhoe attachment that we can go ahead and get installed for you. So you can convert this tractor into a tractor loader and backhoe. Get with your local 21st Century Equipment, the sales team there. They can price one out for you and come up with the right solution for you. Two-range hydrostat transmission. That lever is located right here. Forward for low, back for high. Parking brake right here with my left hand. I mentioned the four-wheel drive lever. Seat adjustment is here. Because the 300E is not a quick park loader, the loader controls are located up here near the steering wheel, easy to access, but they're actually bolted onto the loader frames itself, keeping everything clear and open around my feet. To operate it, as I do every time I get on a tractor, I'm going to put my foot on the brake. I'm going to turn the key, wait for the glow plug light to go out, and then turn the key to start it. The loader controls, like all of the John Deere loaders, forward and back raises and lowers the loader arms, and left and right curl the bucket. So pull back to raise the loader arms up, push forward to lower the arms. It does have a float feature, so I go all the way to the forward position and then just push back. You saw my hand kind of jerk there as it went through the detent. That detent puts these loader arms in float. That's a great way to grade a driveway. do work like that, where these arms will actually be floating on the surface as the terrain changes, but I can use my bucket as a grader blade to pull material back. Pull it back and it goes right back into its normal operating condition. Let me go ahead and start it and we'll show you that. We'll raise the loader all the way up and you see how high it goes. Again, pull down in this case, or back on the lever. That raises the loader up. We'll go ahead and run it all the way up to the top. There it is all the way to the top. If I push outside, in the side-to-side motion, that's going to dump the bucket, come back in towards me. It curls the bucket back, and then down, brings those loader boom down, and then of course the detent position puts those loader arms into a float position. You'll notice I've got a rollover protection system, or a ROPS, above me. You can fold it down, but one of the great things about this that's worth mentioning now is you can get a sunshade or canopy that'll bolt onto this ROPS and gives you a little bit of shade. In fact, they even have one that has a fan built into it, so it helps move the air around on those still air days. It can feel a little bit muggy. It's nice to have that canopy with the fan on there to help keep you cool. This John Deere 3025E is equipped with the iMatch, and this is a great option because it allows me to connect to attachments easily. Instead of having to worry about lining up pins and getting cotter pins in place, I back up, I line my lower pins up with these two hooks, line my top pin up with this hook, back under it, and then raise the 3-point up, and that will engage with the attachment. Once it's sitting on here, I'll climb down off the tractor, flip these levers down, and this locks that pin into place. So the iMatch, if you're changing attachments regularly, or just don't want to deal with the hassle of lining up the pins and the arms and all of those things, consider getting an iMatch on your tractor. We can put them on older tractors. If you've already got a tractor and don't have an iMatch, we can go ahead and get one for you through our parts department and get it installed through the service department. Just check with your local 21st Century Equipment location and they can get all the details nailed down for you. The John Deere 3025E is a great option. It's one of our 3 options with 25 horsepower. If you need a 1025R, a 2025R, or this 3025E. All great options. Come into your local 21st Century Equipment location, have a conversation with one of our sales team members, and we'll help you figure out what the right machine is for the work you do every day.